The tragic death of Charlie Kirk shocked everyone, not just in the United States, but across the world. And entrepreneur Andrew Smith interviewed him just an hour before the shooting incident took place at the Utah Valley University on 10th of September. In an exclusive conversation with CNN News 18, Andrew Smith has revealed his understanding of Charlie Kirk as a person. Listen in to this exclusive. You know, it's often said about leaders that they are narcissistic, that they are alphas. But interestingly, he said that you don't want to be a lonely entrepreneur and that it's not just about maximizing the bottom line, that he believed in a team. Is that what made him this cult figure apart from just an entrepreneur?
I believe so. And I will say that, you know, any founder or entrepreneur that is a narcissist, they usually are pretty alone. Ultimately,
are you?
No, I am not. I have a big team. We have thousands of employees across America. And one of the things that I noticed about him that I appreciated and I liked the same that we do within our organization is we realize we cannot do it alone. And we talk about that in the interview. He's like, you cannot do this alone. It's about the team. And I just think to myself, you know, I couldn't get to where I have in my career without my team. And if you don't treat your team like they are equals or that you are alone and cannot do it without them, which I saw him do with the team in front of me at that event that day, I don't think you'll be successful. And that's one of the reasons why I think he was successful.
So no matter your politics, no matter your disagreements, celebrating someone's death is pure evil. He was still a human being, a husband, a father, and a friend. What do you say to those who have displayed insensitivity in the death of Charlie Kirk?
It's been hard for me. I can't really comprehend why anybody would celebrate someone else's death. We all have the right to be here. We were all given a life from a God. And in my belief, I believe that we all have free agency here too, to believe what we want and to do what we would like and to build a business and to be an entrepreneur. I think that's all of our right too. And that's what he was doing. I think anybody that has that insensitivity, we have had people around us that have had some of that insensitivity, and we've said, you really need to check and think about what you believe in and why you would ever celebrate someone's death, because it's the incorrect way for us to live as humans together here. So for me, I think it's a wake-up call for all of us to realize we all have a right. We all have a right to believe what we want and think what we want. And we should just leave it at that. We always say at Savory that we have a round table. And my belief is that we all have a seat at that table. And I believe that Charlie wanted a round table. That he wanted to discuss anybody's differences and try to get along. It was not always what you would see in the snippet or the soundbite that we were seeing, you know, around the web. That's not what I saw. And in this 34-minute interview, you'll see that that's not who he is, and that is not how it was. And I've heard that from thousands of people that have sent me messages saying, I never knew this side of Charlie Kirk, and I'm so glad I watched that. It changed my opinion, at least, of him as an entrepreneur. So I'm glad that we did it.
I want to take that point forward. Erica Kirk forgave her husband's killer and gave the US what it needs the most right now. That too in an age of bitterness and vengeance, reminding the world, not just the US, that mercy and compassion are perhaps the best way forward. I'd like your thoughts.
It was unbelievable to watch that. I think I have not talked to one person that has not said, I cannot believe that Erica forgave her husband's assassin. I feel similar to what I heard other people say, and that is, I don't know if I could do that, or I don't know if I could get there that fast. And so I think that her display of compassion, of forgiveness, I think that's what Christ would want all of us to do. I know that for me, it's a lesson for me to forgive those that have offended me. And I think that we as a world need some unification right now. And I think that she carried that forward in Charlie's name, that he really did just want to unify. When we were done with our interview, I just want you to know that when we walked off the stage, he turned to me and he said, did I do a good job? Did I help someone today? And no one heard that in the interview. It was between he and I and a couple of people that were standing around him that heard him say that. That is what his frame of mind was that day, is, did I do a good job and I've been able to help someone today? And that's not someone that wants bad or ill will on anyone. It's just not. And I think that Erica saying that, it displayed, I think, the way that they both felt and thought, and that was, we just want to forgive and we want to help.
So Charlie Kirk seemed optimistic and hopeful about the future of the American economy. Many out of the United States are asking at what cost, given economic and subsequent geopolitical upheaval that Donald Trump's tariffs have caused. What's your view, especially as an entrepreneur?
I think it's a good question because, whether there's a president from one party or the other in the Oval Office, as a businessman and as an entrepreneur for all these years through multiple administrations, there is good to be found with any president in that seat. And I respect the person that's in the seat personally. And I know many around me do too. He is my president. President Trump is our president. I respect the man and I respect the seat. And I think it would be a very difficult job, and everybody can be a critic, but being in a leadership seat, especially like that, would be very difficult. I do believe that we need to try to reach across the aisle and pull both sides together a little bit more. And so I think that political divide is making it more difficult. But I still believe, even with President Trump in that seat or any other president in that seat, America is a great place to invest and to grow business. We are looking international ourselves as our business too, of expanding international. We like international markets. We love other countries. I'll be in another country this weekend. And in my mind, we are all one and we're doing business together one way or the other. But America, even with the political landscape right now, is still an incredible place to grow a business. And it's an incredible place to live, and it's an incredible place to visit. So in my mind, it doesn't really matter who's in that seat, but I respect the person in that seat, regardless of who it is.
So India has been slapped with the highest tariff of 50%. This despite being an ally to the United States. Do you believe that the United States and India will eventually come around on the issue of tariffs with a deal that's mutually beneficial to both sides, given New Delhi is also a strategic ally to Washington? What are your hopes?
Well, I'll tell you this, I'm not in the middle of those negotiations, but it affects my business. We have tariffs in countries where we're buying goods for our business because we're in the food and beverage industry, which is a large industry, and we're importing a lot of goods from around the world, and the tariffs have affected us. So for me, I'm hopeful that they will. I think that it's part of a negotiation that's happening. I'm not in those rooms, so I don't know what's really happening. But I will say this. If you go back to the comment that Charlie made in my interview, if we want to just refer to what he said, I agreed with his comment when I said, what's a quote that you live by? And he said, good times will pass and so will bad times. And I think that right now this is a difficult time. I think you could say it's a bad time with the negotiation, the landscape of negotiations, where the tariffs are, how the tariffs are being treated with different countries, especially with allies. And I think it's a tough time right now, but I really do believe that it will pass and we'll end up somewhere where we're all getting along again and that it works for both countries. I'm hopeful for that. I wish I was at the table to help with that because I'm actually one that's being affected by that. But I believe good will come out of that because this time shall pass.
We do hope good will come out of this and the bad times shall pass.